Ivana Trump is gone, but her words aren't. Trump kept Hitler's speeches by his bed. Now, who would know that? Ivana, that too. Per Mediaite, and as we covered yesterday, Donald Trump spewed his hateful anti-immigration rhetoric in 2 campaign spots over the weekend, twice saying immigrants were poisoning the blood of our country. As Mediaite notes, a similar version of the phrase appears in Adolf Hitler's manifesto, a book some doubt Trump has even read. Some, I think we all know that he didn't read the book, but he's picking it up perhaps elsewhere, online, Cliff Notes, I don't know. Someone whispering it in his ear. Let's listen.
Country, when they do that, we got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison mental institutions and prisons all over the world, not just in South America, not just the 3 or 4 countries that we think about, but all over the world. They're coming into our country from Africa, from Asia, all over the world. They're pouring into our country. Nobody's even looking at them. They just come in. The crime is going to be tremendous. The terrorism is going to be, and then we built a tremendous piece of the wall.
And Scotland? How about Scotland? Where else are they coming from? This is disgusting rhetoric. And it's also incomplete. If you're going to go all the way down that rabbit hole of racism, you might as well go all the way. Go all the way. 1990 interview with Vanity Fair. Trump's first ex-wife, Ivana Trump, said the future president kept a collection of Hitler's speeches in their bedroom. I told him it's over right at that point. As soon as I discovered that I'm cleaning up and doing maybe snooping, I would have said right then, what are these Hitler? What is this Hitler stuff, Don? You're going to get some help, or number one, you're in the guest room tonight. That's right off the bat, because I'm not going to sleep with anybody who's sitting. Are you researching something? According to the post-divorce profile of the couple by Marie Brenner, Ivana, pictured above, well, you saw the picture of her next to the Donald, was taken in 1988 or close to it with her then husband after she was sworn in as a United States citizen. Oh, yeah. Recounted an instance of a Trump Organization employee greeting his boss. When he visits Donald in his office, Ivana told a friend, he clicks his heels and says, "Hail Hitler," possibly as a family joke. Mediaite, what kind of family is this that we're joking like this? I've heard of inside banter. We're family. But the clicking of the heels, this salute, wow. Brenner continued with the passage that has come up a lot since Trump entered politics. Last April, perhaps in a surge of Czech nationalism, Ivana Trump told her lawyer, Michael Kennedy, that from time to time her husband reads a book of Hitler's collected speeches, My New Order, which he keeps in a cabinet by his bed. Kennedy now guards a copy of My New Order in a closet at his office, as if it were a grenade. Hitler's speeches from his earliest days up through the phony war of 1939 reveal his extraordinary ability as a master propagandist. Now I get it. Not a secret that Donald Trump does not mind being compared to the Nazi dictator. He also might have thought that he did have a copy. Did your cousin John give you the Hitler speeches? Brenner asked Trump. Trump hesitated. Who told you that? I don't remember, Brenner said. Trump continued. Actually, it was my friend Marty Davis from Paramount who gave me a copy, and he's a Jew. I did give him a book about Hitler, Marty Davis said, but it was My New Order, Hitler speeches, not Mein Kampf. I thought he would find it interesting. I am his friend, but I'm not Jewish. But is anything the truth? Is anything just a simple truth? He said he's not Jewish. And I don't know friends that I'm handing out these copies to, but okay. That's for Marty and Don. Brenner wrote that later in her interview with Trump, he clarified, if I had these speeches, and I'm not saying that I do, you see what I mean? Can we just keep it simple? I would never read them. You don't even know if you have the book now. Your wife said it's in your nightstand, and your lawyer had a copy. That's what she said. You know, I don't know where to begin because there's deliberately no beginning, middle, or end, which a good book perhaps would have, Mayor. He apparently has an affinity for this, but he's not a student, so maybe he's not reading things. Maybe there's someone whispering in his ear, but he is a master propagandist. Can we at least agree on that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, as dumb as I think Donald Trump is, and he showed the world that he is, I do believe I could see him reading Hitler and other people like his mentor who taught him how to be racist, taught him how to discriminate against Black people in the 70s. And I think we should be paying attention exactly to who this person is. We have a person who does not mind immigration, but for all over the world, as he described all over the world, and conveniently forgot the entire continent of Europe. He said Africa, he said Asia, and he said the three countries that we think of. First of all, who's the we that are thinking of these three countries, and what three countries are you talking about? Because when I think about immigration, I don't think about three countries, except for unless we're talking about Europe, because we know up until the 90s, America prevented who could come in here. This is why America stayed so white so long. If you think about the China Exclusionary Act, the African nations that were banned to allow anybody to become a citizen up until the 90s, and then if you think about how they prevented our brown brothers from the South from coming in this country just so they could keep America white as it is right now. So this idea that we think of three countries when we think of immigration, especially illegal immigration, I'm not included in the we he's talking about. So this is another dog whistle that people should make sure they're paying attention to. They're coming from Africa, basically saying that people from Europe can't poison the blood. And we know he believes this because of his kids. 4 of them are born to European immigrants. All of them had to come here. All of them. And one of them, the one he's married to now, is on a superstar visa. And I have a definition of superstar, and she ain't jumping to mind when I think of it in no context. In no context. That's how I feel about that.
Yeah.
And lastly, people need to be sure to know that his mother, he wouldn't be existing but for an immigrant. His mother is a Scottish immigrant that came to this country not long before he was born. So this idea that Donald Trump don't like immigrants, we should be clear to note that he's talking about Black and brown people, because this is whiteful America, not ours.
I love Professor Henry Louis Gates. Maybe you need a companion show, Mayor. It would be a nice companion. And they could, 2-hour block on public television, perhaps. Maybe you do it right here because that's important context. I think if you had a red hat on, you might be able to think the way the crowd responded in that way. I'm not sure. But I think you have to have certain red cap on, and then you're thinking you're thinking that way.